Now, also, I think what's interesting out there is what's going on the server side. And what we saw is that Dell has launched new PowerEdge servers powered by Intel Xeon 6 chips, which are offering better performance and energy efficiency over previous models. Now, the servers are built to support flexible application development, and Dell also improves storage, data protection, and management tools. Now, Dell's new PowerEdge servers, specifically the R470, the R570, R670, and R770 models, say that 5 times real quick, all leverage, again, those Intel Xeon 6 processors with both P cores and E cores. And that's important to deliver these improvements that are noted, particularly, for example, in AI data center environments. And I think one example is that the servers are designed not only for these diverse tasks that are going on in the AI data centers, but also scale out databases with the R8770 specifically achieving up to 80% space savings per 42 unit rack by consolidating legacy platforms. So I think that's something that's going to catch the eye of some decision makers out there. And Alistair, from your viewpoint, what is going on with these new Dell PowerEdge server capabilities? How much is it a big deal?
Well, he's particularly the R470 through 770 are the 1 and 2U single and double socket servers. So these are the commodity mm, servers that are deployed in large numbers in data centers to be the primary compute platform for a lot of organizations. Historically, that would, of course, always have been their vSphere clusters that are then running all of their applications. And although these are not the most high density servers with the most GPUs you can load up in them, right? These 1 and 2U chassis don't take a lot of GPUs. What we are seeing is that the inference stage of the use of AI often doesn't need GPU or doesn't need very much GPU. And so even though these you might look at as these are CPU and network heavy and not necessarily great for GPU, they can be a very cost-effective way to run the inference stage of, and let's be clear, the inference is where you're getting business value out of using AI. All of the training stuff is the necessary pre-work to be able to do the inference, and it's the inference that you're going to do at the largest scale over time. So having nice high-density servers that are going to be cost effective to deliver a large amount of compute is a really vital thing here. I like seeing that there are more cores per processor available. It's the general march that we have seen over time. And I like that this is oriented towards this combination of doing virtual machines, bare metal compute where it suits, containers on bare metal or virtual machines where it suits. I think also that Dell has updated Object Scale along the way. And so Object Scale provides a storage platform that integrates really nicely into a Kubernetes cluster. And the newer release of Object Scale has gone much higher density on the actual SSDs, up to 122 terabytes for a single SSD, means that even though these aren't necessarily huge physical systems, there's a huge amount of storage in them. That is, to me, it's a clear line towards the use of that large amount of storage and high performance storage for AI use cases where that speed of retrieval of data, particularly for tools like using retrieval augmented generation, you've got large corpus of private data that you're using during the inference stage. So Object Scale looks to be doing some great things at increasing the amount of volume, the amount of data, up to 6 petabytes of data in a single 2U node configuration. Naturally, you want to scale out to more than just one node for that. So, yeah, nice to see that continuing innovation, that expansion in capacity in high density servers, particularly because we're seeing data centers filling up again. Right? There was a phase when things emptied out in the data center, when virtualization saved us and we didn't need quite so much data center space. And yeah, progressively we've seen now there's an expansion in demand for space and an expansion in demand for power, which can be quite challenging. Of course, Dell also brought in a new version of their open managed software, supporting newer versions of their iDRAC. So the iDRAC 10 is the latest version. And I'm getting old when I remember the versions of iDRAC I worked with many, many years ago, and PERC 13 RAID controllers. Yeah, lots of new technologies coming in these newer servers, seeing reductions in write latency, seeing improvements in the proactive support, letting us know beforehand if things are going to fail, scaling to ridiculous amounts of storage in all flash configurations using things like Dell Power Protect for on-site data protection. So seeing really good continuation of that spectrum of more power, more storage, at least more compute power, hopefully not an equivalent increase in the electrical power requirement. And that, again, is what we see with the innovations in CPUs along the way. So awesome stuff from Dell, lots of new products released out, and continuing to see more use cases for them.